I turned off location.
So, why does this app still know where I am? It's that weird moment of confusion so many of us have had. Let's actually break down what's happening.
All right, first, let's talk about the expectation. When you see that switch, the logic feels pretty simple, right?
You went into your settings, found that location toggle, and you turned it off. In your mind, that's it. That should cut the cord between your device and its physical place in the world. But then, the mismatch happened. The software did something that just didn't line up with the action you just took.
You open up a weather app, maybe a news app, and boom, it greets you with content for your current city. Not your exact street, no, but it definitely knows the general area you're in.
Which leads to the one very reasonable question, how? How is that even possible?
Okay, here's the first part of the explanation, your IP address. This is all about the fundamental way your device gets on the internet, and it has absolutely nothing to do with GPS. See, every single time your device goes online, it gets assigned a unique ID for that connection. That's its IP address. It's just a basic requirement for sending and receiving anything online.
A really good way to think about it is like a postal code. It's not some secret personal ID, it's more like a general routing instruction for internet traffic.
And here's the crucial part. That IP address can be looked up in public databases that map it to an internet provider and the region they serve. It can't pinpoint your house, but it can absolutely get the city right. And this is often the very first clue an app uses.
But that's not the only trick. There's a second and often more precise method, your Wi-Fi neighborhood. The system is basically just listening to its digital environment.
I mean, think about it. Your phone is constantly scanning for wireless networks around it. That's how it knows what networks are even available for you to join.
And as it scans, it makes a quick list of every network it can see. For each one, it jots down its public name, like CafeNet, and its unique hardware ID.
Now, here is the really key detail. Your device doesn't need to connect to any of these networks. It doesn't need the password. It just has to be close enough to hear them broadcasting their names.
So what does it do with this list of nearby networks? It checks it against these massive crowdsourced databases. These are basically global maps with the locations of millions of Wi-Fi hotspots, all logged by other devices. So by seeing which networks are near you, your device can figure out its own position with surprising accuracy, sometimes down to a single city block. I know this all feels a bit counterintuitive, which brings us to the trade-off. Why does it even work this way? Well, it all comes down to a fundamental choice between simplicity and functionality.
So on one hand, here's what the system gives up, that simple, easy-to-understand master switch that we all expect. But on the other hand, here's what it gains, the ability to give you basic, useful location features like local weather using low-power methods without having to fire up that extremely battery-hungry GPS chip.
So now we can finally bring this all together. The resolution to this puzzle is to just redefine what that location toggle actually controls.
The core misunderstanding is that we think that switch is an all-or-nothing privacy shield. It's not. It doesn't cut the system off from every single possible clue about its location. What that toggle actually controls is the most precise, most power-intensive tool the device has, the GPS chip. So when you turn location off, you're really just telling the device, don't use GPS.
But the system still has these other less precise ways of knowing its general location, and they're pretty much always on because they're part of its basic network functions. And as we've seen, those other senses are your IP address, which acts like a postal code, and that list of nearby Wi-Fi networks, which is like a neighborhood map. And so, that moment of confusion, where you turned a switch off but the software still knew your city, it wasn't a bug. It was the system working exactly as designed, trading a simple off switch for the ability to provide basic features without draining your battery. And that explains the software's behavior.